All right, after quite some time, I have something to show. It's a winged power-up. And first we're going to start with showing the various animations to get this effect. And I'll end with it in-game. So the first animation is the roll left. So as you can see, the player just rolls with his wings to the left. And I'll show it from various angles. And from the front. And from the other sides. And while we're at it, I'll just show the keyframes. So he does like a little twirl in the air. And from the front, I'll show it. And let's do the side. And I'll also be showing how I go about the exporting and how this wing is rigged. And I think this is the roll right, so it's going in the opposite direction. So essentially it's the same animation, just in the other way. And this is the flight animation, or one of them. Here you can see it from the front and the side. I'll do the keyframes. We'll do the side. And this is another variation of the same animation. This one he animates a little slower. Show the side and the back. And the final animation is a glide animation, as you can see here. So now I'm going to show the wings, how they're rigged, or the skeleton. Probably the best is wireframe. So I export these two items separately. So I export the animation for the player, and then separately in another file I export the wing. And the wing is two separate pieces, because this part that I've highlighted, it uses transparency, even though you don't see it here in Maya. And I'll select the skeleton for the wing. There's the, or not, it looks like it's selected more than the wing, but you get an idea. And if I go here, I can show how it's linked up. It's linked up using a locator. If I can find it. Ah, yeah, here it is. So if I pull that off and go back. So this is actually how I export the wings, so that when they get attached to that chest bone of the player, it'll write itself and then it'll attach perfectly. You'll see that in the engine. But if I want to write this, I can go back and remove the locator, like so. Yeah, so here we have the wings. And like I said, I have my plugin, and so I export each of these separately, and then in the engine they get attached. And then I can play individual animations on each of the two entities. So the player and the wing get different animations, and then when they're joined together, it forms one component. But I'll show the... Yeah, there you can see how it's been rigged. So in the next part of the video, I'll show the whole effect running in game with the power up when it's picked up, and how the player reacts in the world while he's flying in the air. So sorry this took so long. I had computer problems, and we had to do a lot of iterations with the animator to get this right. And then some of the code wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be to write for this. So that's why it took so long. But at least I have it now, and it's good enough, and I can move on. But next, I'll show it running in the engine. All right, here we have the player getting the wing power up, and you see him launch into the air. And then I'll play some of his animations. So there you see the twirls, and he should do the winged flight. That's a little bit slower than the launch animation, although it takes him a while to do it. There he goes. So these are the animations I showed earlier, and he should drop down. So that's the wing power up. I'll show it a little bit more. This took a lot of time to code because I had to clear the landing zone so that when he lands, there's no obstacles, and I had to take account the geometry that was there, because sometimes there's tunnels, there's moving trains, and at other times I need to fill up the landing zone with additional obstacles, otherwise it looks kind of barren when he lands. So it wasn't as easy as I thought. There's a lot of things I had to consider, and I had to write an algorithm that accounts for all of these issues, and it doesn't have any weird special case code, which always is a bad idea. So that's why it took a little bit longer than I wanted for it to get done. But I'll show it again, and then the final video that I'll show is with the player flying through the air indefinitely, so that you can see the level traversed from a different perspective. But I'll show him one more time with him flying in the air, which I can just show right now, I think. Yes, I can. So I'll show the twirling. So in this part of gameplay, he'll be flying through the air and picking up coins and tokens. So that's what he's going to be doing. So next I'll show, like I said, him flying indefinitely, so you can see most of the level from up above. Okay, here the player will fly through the air indefinitely, so you can get a bird's eye view of the level. So he won't come down anytime soon. And here I'm just showing the animations I showed earlier. So this is where technically he would come down, but of course I've changed the code so that doesn't happen. And of course you can see the trains and enemies that fly down below you. So that's kind of a nice perspective to be able to see them from this angle. And of course you're above the birds too. And in this mode where you have this power up, you'll be picking up coins that are up in the air, and also some other trinkets, until of course the power up runs out, and then you go back down to earth. So like I said, it took a little bit longer than I thought it would, but I'm pretty happy with the results. There's some more things I could tweak with the code, but for now this is good enough, and I'm probably going to move on to other things, because yeah, I've got other things that are on my table to finish off. So I guess I'll do another video when I have another feature completed with the game. So till next time, thanks and bye, and thanks for watching.